I'm sorry, I'm just kind of thoroughly enjoying the music of this. Anyway, hello there everybody, Sobata92 aka Nightmare, and welcome back to Steins Gate Zero, the tale of the sad scientist. Now then, last episode we actually started changing perspectives and we ended it where we are now going to be in Suzuha's perspective, I believe, if my memory is correct. Also, yes, I am going to try to make like multiple save files if you know, an option kind of pops up. You know, not to mention like we got 6 pages of these, so I may as well try to use them as much as I can. Anyway, let's throw ourselves back in. Amane Suzuha was about to run out of patience. The cause was the young man in the room with her, her father. Ashira Itaru, aka Daru. His massively obese body was leaning forward over a computer monitor, and he had a dopey grin on his face. He'd finally gotten up around 11 a.m., gulped down 3 cups of instant ramen, and now was surfing the internet. Oh god, what are you doing, Daru?
リア充メッセピーとパルテノン氏って夫婦だったん？何それ聞いてねえし。
What? Normals must die, P. And what? Okay, what? I'm sorry. Parthenon, a female freelance illustrator. She primarily does illustrations for Nico Nia Video and Vocalo. And Vocalo songs, and is mostly popular with young women. Okay. Normals must die. A Vocalo producer. 2 of his videos have exceeded over 1 million views, popular for the unique worlds he builds with his lyrics. As his name suggests, many of his songs criticize normals, or criticize himself for not having any friends. His songs are a source of support for viewers in similar dire straits. His songs always feature images by the same illustrator, Parthenon, and her cute illustrations are another source of popularity. Well, they seem to get along quite well, so I guess it makes...
つうか、リア充メッセーとか名乗ってる本人がリア充じゃん。リアルに嫁いるとか、汚い、汚すぎる。ぼっちの味方だと思ってたのに。こんなん戦争だろ。炎上必至だろ。
Oh god.
と思ったらもうアットちゃんもツイポも炎上してた件について。
I think we already know what a tweeter is, but okay, what is it for this? The name of a microblogging software app allows for tweets up to 140 characters in length. Tweets from other users you follow can be viewed in a timeline, allowing for it to be fiction. Bullshit! Sorry. Okay.
僕としたことが出遅れた。これまでの流れをちゃんとチェックしないと。
I'm sorry.
父さん。はい。
That's what Suzuha called her father. It's who he was, after all, so there was nothing else to call him. Suzuha was a time traveler from the year 2036, and 7 years from now, he would become her father.
いい加減にしなよ。一日中ゴロゴロして食べるかネットを見るかゲームをしてるかばっかり。
Well, to be fair, sometimes I don't do the lying around. I kind of eat. I may look at the internet and play video games, but I've kind of got a day job, so... Oh wait, never mind.
即席麺やお菓子ばかり食べてると体に病変を生じるって警告しても治そうともしない。
In fact, his PC desk was covered with snacks. She cleaned it regularly, but it never seemed to make a difference.
運動だってしろって言ってるのに全然しない。
Suzuha realized she was complaining more than usual, but she had to say it anyway.
そんなんじゃ将来。
And then she realized that Itaru wasn't even listening to her. His eyes were fixed on the computer monitor. He'd moved his mouse out of sight, but she could still hear him clicking it.
話を聞きなさい。
Wait, what the hell is that? Guts? Suzuha approached her father from behind and put the hairspray can she'd been hiding up to his neck. Oh. Itaru seemed to think it was a gun. He stuck his hands up. That's like this worked. They worked because she told him that she'd survived the Third World War and the wars and chaos of 2036 and that she was ready to draw a gun and pull the trigger whenever she needed to.
すずは、やめてくんないと、父さん怒っちゃう。
怒られるのは父さんの方。
はい、すみません。でもさ、僕の秘密の仕事知ってるっしょ？あれが結構忙しいんだよ。僕ぐらいのハッカーになると引く手あまたでさ。食事も適当に済まさざるを得ないっつうか。海外のクライアント相手だと時差もあって昼夜逆転しちゃうっつうか。
You seem to be very good at making excuses.
未来の父さんもそんなことばっかり言って母さんに叱られてた。100歩譲って睡眠周期は仕方ないとしても、これ以上健康を損ねるような食事は許容範囲外。即刻中止すること。いい？
He's not gonna stop.
だけど仕事もそうだけどタイムマシンの研究が大変なんだ。癒しが欲しいんだよね僕。
そうやって言い訳してすぐだらけようとする。甘えてるよ父さん。
Suzuha was always amazed that their dad managed to survive the future's wars. But since the time machine research would affect the future, and eventually Suzuha's very presence here, she couldn't tell him to stop. Even after Okabe Rentaro stopped coming to the Future Gadget Lab, Itaru had kept working on the time machine all by himself. Suzuha never said a word about it. If she did, it might create a time paradox. We want to avoid that!
タイムマシンを作るのに未来から来たタイムマシンを精査しちゃダメだからね。
She decided to warn him again.
わかってるよそんなこと。でも時々自信なくなるんだよね。僕、本当にタイムマシンなんて作るん？
当然だよ。しっかりして。
I mean, she's kind of living proof that you can make a time machine, Daru.
はい。
That should fill you with some confidence. Suzuha took the hairspray can off of his neck.
てっきり銃だと思ったらなんというはったり。父さんを騙すなんてひどいよ。
次は本物使うからね。
それマジ勘弁。
Suzuha put the can of hairspray back on the shelf. It was something Okabe Rentaro had left here when he'd lived in the lab. It was still here since its owner never came back for it.
漫画とかゲームだとさ、父親を叱る娘ってのはもっとこう燃えるんだけどな。すずは、ちょっとさ、もうダメだよパパって言ってみてくんない？できれば甘やかすような口調で。
No!
なんでもないでござる。
Her dad shrank from Suzuha's glare. Suzuha sighed loudly and dropped herself on the sofa. She leaned back against the headrest and stared at the ceiling, then closed her eyes.
どうしたん？
なんでも。
隠しても無駄なのだぜ。すずはのなんでもないってのは話を聞いてほしいって意味っしょ。
Eh?
ほら、話してみるといいよ。
He looks like he's kind of pouting in a way. Daru sounded very serious. Suzu's eyes went wide for a moment, but then she realized.
そのセリフ、この前プレイしてたギャルゲーにあったよね。
Gotcha!
それでフラグが成立するんだっけ？
Flag? Oh, wait a minute. Kind of like a death flag. Computer game lingo! A type of foreshadowing that means a common trope is about to occur. For example, in flag means that something in the future, sometime in the future, will happen. Death flags and love flags are common examples. Well then. She'd been living here for 3 months. She was starting to learn a little about Akihabara's culture circa 2010.
父さん、間違っても私を落とそうとか思わないでよね。
ねえよ、実の娘にそんなことしないって。
本当かな？未来の父さんはちょっと怪しかった。
え？
私が思春期になってからもよく一緒にお風呂入ろうって誘われたな。
Ew?
何それ怖い。
私は軍属だったし、父さんはタイムマシンの開発に追われてたからいつも一緒にいられるわけじゃなかったけど、とにかくベタベタしてきたよ。鬱陶しいくらいにね。
Her dad looked honestly depressed, and she realized that she'd gone too far.
父さんはさ、いつも私に言ってくれてたよ。ここは最低最悪の世界線だけど、私が誕生したことだけは最高だって。
Aww.
私、未来の父さんを失望させたくないんだ。だから、絶対にオカリンおじさんを説得しなきゃ。
大丈夫。失望したりしないって、絶対に。
そうかな。
うん。
けどね、おじさんはどうしても話を聞いてくれないよ。このままじゃおじさんは過去へ行かない。マキセ・クリスを救出しない。シュタインズゲートにも到達しない。
Steins Gate. Roll credits. That was the name of the mysterious world line her dad had told her about in 2036, where World War III might not occur. Leading Okabe Rentaro to that world line was her mission. But right now, it wasn't going well. Suzuha had come to 2010, and just like the mission had called for, she had succeeded in sending Okabe Rentaro to July 28th. But then he failed, and he wasn't going to try again. Every time they met, she tried to convince him, but who knew if her words were having any effect?
結局、第三次世界大戦に世界線は収束して、大勢の人たちが殺戮される。それを変えるために私は来たのに、何もできない運命なのかな。
Suzuha had said something else she had to do here in Akihabara in December 2010. Oh, sorry, she had something else, sorry. Besides convincing Okabe Rentaro, and it meant she was running around every day. The exhaustion was starting to take its toll on her. During the war, she'd been able to keep herself sharp at all times, and this level of exhaustion wouldn't have meant anything. The relaxed atmosphere of 2010 was actually making her realize how tired she was. She was feeling very sleepy right now, actually. She was surprised at how willing she was to fall asleep in such an undefended position, but she didn't think she could beat the temptation. And then suddenly she felt something extremely cold on the back of her neck. She snapped awake in an instant. Her movements after that were lightning quick. She jumped up and slid behind the massive body in front of her, which obviously belonged to Itaru, then grabbed his arm and twisted it as she dropped him to the floor. She went to draw the gun at her hip, and her hand swiped through empty air. And then she came back to reality. Her gun was hidden wasn't carrying it. This wasn't 2036.
いてててててて
2 cans of Dr. P clattered to the floor. That must have been what he'd put on her neck.
何するの父さん。
さっきのお返しだお。
ぼーっとしてたから危うく殺しちゃうとこだったよ。
Jeez.
そういう訓練受けてきたんだからシャレじゃ済まないんだって。
わかったから話してくださり。言いたいでござるの巻。
まったくもう。
You okay, buddy? Suzuha let her father go.
で。
Itaru rubbed his arm and stood up, then grabbed the cans of Dr. P off the floor. He offered one to Suzuha.
つかさ、諦めんの早すぎだろ。もうちょっと頑張ってみるのだぜ。多分、オカリンは疲れて眠ってるだけだから、今みたいに冷たい毒ペでも首筋に当ててやれば飛び起きるんじゃね？なんせほら、あのオカリンだし。
She realized her dad was trying to cheer her up and nodded. Then she heard footsteps coming up the stairs and some slightly off-key humming. Their eyes met. Just the sound was enough to tell them who it was.
隠れろ、鈴葉。
オキドキ。
Okay, Suzuha moved fast. Maybe even faster than when she'd knocked her father to the ground. She quickly and silently jumped behind the curtain that separated the lab's development room from the rest of it. Just as she hid beneath the desk, there was a knock at the door. Is that Yuki? Suzuha knew that voice, of course. It was her mom. She could tell from the noises he was making that her dad was panicking. There was another knock.
はいはい、今出る。
Itaru went to open the door. Suzuha took a deep breath and concentrated her mind. She remembered the time she'd spent 3 days and 3 nights on a battlefield with no food and nothing to drink, constantly aiming her rifle at the target. She erased any trace of her presence that could give her away. Her breathing started to become shallow. Dad, don't screw this up, okay?
天音氏、今日はまゆしと待ち合わせ？
Itaru came back into the room with a girl.
はい、お料理の特訓をすることになっているんですけど。
She could hear plastic bags rustling. He must have brought the ingredients.
まゆし、来てないんだよね。
そうですか。ちょっと来るの早かったかな。
Amane Yuki. Just as the name Amane suggested, she was Suzuha's mother in the future. In other words, the two of them in the other room were supposed to get married.
まあ、約束があるなら、そのうち来るんじゃないかな。
待っていてもいいですか？
もちろん、ここで料理もするんでしょ。
はい、橋田さんもぜひ味見してくださいね。
まゆしのはあんまり食べたくないよ。
大丈夫ですよ。まゆりちゃん、すごく上達してるんですから。
That's good.
へへ。
Itaru was clearly nervous. As far as Suzuha knew, the only girl he acted that way around was Amane Yuki. Suzuha and Mayuri were practically family, and he got along fine with Big Sis Rumi, Ferris Nyanyan, who worked at the maid cafe next door. So it wasn't that he didn't know how to act around girls, but for some reason he always acted different when she was around. She'd told him that Yuki would be his wife someday. It was too late to do anything about it now. Maybe that was a mistake, she thought.
今日は妹さんはお留守ですか？
え、あ、うん。
そうですか。
Hashide Itaru's sister was none other than Suzuha herself. Around the same time Suzuha had started spending all her time in the lab, Yuki had become friends with Mayuri and Itaru and began visiting more frequently, which meant that avoiding her was almost impossible, and so she was forced to tell Yuki that she was Itaru's little sister. But still, she'd wanted to keep contact to a minimum in order to keep Yuki from finding out somehow. That was why she was hiding.
そうそう。どうですこの服。この前買ったんですけど。
Ah, Itaru, don't mess this up. Yuki showed no signs of noticing Suzuha. She was twirling around in the center of the room as if she was at a fashion show. Yuki was a cosplayer and wanted as many people as possible to see her dressed up. Mayuri had told Suzuha that once before. In fact, Yuki and Mayuri spent a lot of time complimenting each other's outfits.
いいよ。すごくいい。
本当ですか？
うわー、天使来たこれって感じ。
ありがとうございます。橋田さんもおしゃれしましょうよ。ちょっとだけ痩せれば結構素敵だと思うな。
はははは。
私本気ですよ。
おお。
Awkward. Hashira Itaru and Amane Yuki. As she listened to their awkward conversation, Suzuha remembered the last time she'd said goodbye to her dad. Oh. Whoa. 2036, August 13th.
父さん、治安部隊が万世橋まで来てる。
Whoa, what the? Hold on. Mansaibashi, one of the bridges on the south side of Akihabara that crosses over the Kanda River. The original Mansaibashi was built in a different spot. When new Mansaibashi Bridge was built in its current location, the old bridge became known as Old Mansaibashi, until it was taken down altogether in 1906. The bridge only came into its current arc shape after several rebuildings, including one after the Great Kanto earthquake. Huh.
ということは、ここが発見されるのも時間の問題かな。あらかじめ流しておいた偽の情報も効果なかったか。
急ごう。
おう、開けるぞ。
Oh shit.
すごい。こんなところに扉があったなんて。これなら誰にも見つからないね。
Oh god, my Yuri's with them.
そう、中へ。
ここって。
What? Why is there a, why is there a miniature Makise there? The room was almost totally bare and covered from top to bottom in soundproofing materials. Not only were there no windows, there wasn't even a door to the hallway. The building they were in was once a symbol of old Akihabara, before it was almost entirely destroyed by an air raid during the last days of the Third World War. Only a few people knew about the secret room inside it. The biggest reason it was a secret was the silhouette of what looked like a satellite sitting in the corner.
これタイムマシンだよね。これがタイムマシン。かがり、危ないからあんまり近づくな。
Kagari? Suzuha spoke to the little girl clutching Mayuri's hand. Most of the children in this era had skin inflammation somewhere on their body from all the radioactive rain, but she didn't. Jesus Christ! Her name was Sheena Kagari. Her registration form said she was 10 years old, but no one knew if that was true. She was an orphan who'd lost her parents in the Tokyo air raids when she was a baby, and nobody even knew her birthday. The name Kagari had been given to her by Mayuri, who was working at the child welfare center that had taken her in. She took it from the word Kagaribi, meaning bonfire, in hoping that she could be a light even in these dark days. It had been 4 years since Mayuri had adopted her, and her name on the registration form had become Shina Kagari.
綺麗だね、ママ。そうね。
Whoa! Suzuha motioned for the Shinas to step back and put her right hand and right eye up to the time machine sensor. The biometrics check cleared and the hatch slid open. She went inside and fastened herself into the seat.
これほど長時間の有人ジャンプは初めてだが、技術的には全く問題ない。これまでのテストジャンプ通りやればいいからな。
Okie dokie.
Suzuha began to flip switches, working her way through the startup procedure. She'd practiced it hundreds of times in preparation for this day. The faint rumble from the time machine began to get louder.
データによれば、昔のラジカンはちょうどこの場所が屋上になってる。ただし、高さが1メートルほどずれてるからな。着地するときに衝撃があると思う。
了解。
The time machine could move through time, but not space. To arrive at the radio building more than 60 years in the past, she needed to launch from right here.
トラブルが起きても冷静にな。トレーニングを思い出せばいい。
大丈夫だよ。私は父さんのマシンを信じてるから。
Her words must have meant a lot to him, because he stuck out his lips toward her. She squished them back with her hand.
気持ち悪い。
悲しいな。鈴葉は父さんが嫌いかい。
父さんがやるとなんか下心があるみたいだから。
いくらなんでも娘相手に下心なんてねえよ。
I'll trust you on that, Daru.
最近母さんに似てきたハスハスとか言ってたのはどこの誰？
Her mother wasn't here. She'd become a victim of the war, brutally killed by the peacekeeping squads.
冗談を真に受けないでくれたまえ。
なんだ、冗談だったの？
Suzuha's voice sounded kind of disappointed. She set the destination for August 13th, 1975. Her first mission was there.
これでよし。それじゃあ父さん、マユ姉さん。
She was about to say her goodbyes, but then... Suzuha drew her gun from her holster. She was about to get out of the time machine, but her dad stopped her.
ダメだ。さっさと飛べ。
でも父さんたちが。
俺たちのことはいい。早く行け、鈴葉。
そんな、だって
マヤシ、係ちゃんを。
Huh?
このマシンにはもう一人乗れる。
Mayuri and Suzuha's father picked up the stunned Kagari and stuffed her into the time machine.
すずちゃん、係をお願い。わかった。
If Suzuha's mission succeeded, the world line would be rebuilt, and it was likely that the present Kagari would cease to exist. It might have been pointless to send her. Even so, a mother wants her child to live. That's how Suzuha's mom was, too. Kagari finally seemed to understand what was going on. She called out to her mom.
やだよ。大丈夫だよ、係ちゃん。すずちゃんが一緒だからね。大 けば昔のママがいるよ。今よりずーっと若くて、かがりちゃんびっくりするだろうな。
Mayuri handed Kagari a tiny keychain. It looked old. It might have been a brightly colored green once. It's completely faded. Oh.
ママがずっと大切にしてきたウーパのキーホルダーだよ。かがりちゃんにあげる。大事にしてね。
Once it was pressed firmly into Kagari's hand, she stepped back. Yuri was smiling but weeping at the same time.
いや、行きたくない。ママと一緒にいる。ママ、ダメ。かがり、おとなしくしてなさい。
Jeez. Kagari fell silent immediately. Even Suza had never heard Mayuri use that tone of voice. That's how harshly she scolded her daughter. Kagari was quietly weeping, moving.
閉めるぞ。
This time, the hatch really did begin to close. The inside of the machine and the outside of it. The two worlds were about to be completely cut off from one another. Whether Suza's mission was successful or not, she'd probably never see any of them again. And then the door was sealed shut, and Mayuri and Itaru's voices disappeared along with the chaos outside.
父さん、大好き。
She whispered towards the door, now sealed shut.
行くよ、かがり。かっこいい。
She booted up the time machine. Shit!
芦田さん、掃除機はどこ？
Uh-oh. Suza snapped back to reality. Thank you for getting that. Yeah, that was fucking dark. Wait a minute, where the hell's Kagari and why does she look like Makise? Yuki was getting close to the development room she was hiding in.
そのカーテンの危な。
この奥？
ああ、僕が持ってくるよ。
Itaru motioned for her to stop and then quickly slid into the room. As he reached down to pick the vacuum off the floor, his gaze locked with Suza's as she hid under the desk.
バレないようにしてよ、父さん。
オーキードーキ
ありましたか？掃除機。
あ、うん。
Evidently, Yuki was trying to be nice by cleaning up. The place was pretty messy right now. Knowing Yuki's personality, Suzuha could imagine she'd want to clean it. Itaru grabbed what looked like a vacuum cleaner off the floor and left the development room.
何ですか？それ。
未来ガジェット5号機。
Oh! Once again, I've made a worthless object by Goemon. Future gadget number 5. The future gadget of your dreams, made by connecting a dryer and a vacuum. It uses the exhaust from the vacuum in the dryer. The name comes from the famous anime about a phantom thief, Lupans III.
分解すれば普通の掃除機として使えるはず。
お掃除するための掃除機なのに、分解したらかえって散らかすことになりません？橋田さんって頭がいいのに時々うっかりなことしますよね。
そうかな。
でもそういう人の方が私好きだな。
Oh!
なんだと
Itaru started to panic again in Suzuha's side.
ただ生活については見直した方がいいと思うんです。お部屋の掃除はできれば毎日した方がいいですよ。ここ特に埃っぽいですし。それだけじゃありません。食事のこともそうです。今日もカップ麺だったんでしょ？
なんで知ってるん？
お台所に食べ残したまま放置されてます。
なるほど。
それにお菓子もこんなにたくさん。食べ過ぎだっていつも言ってるのに。
一応気をつけてはいるのだぜ。
一応じゃダメです。あんまりカップ麺やお菓子ばかり食べてると病気になっちゃいますよ。あと少しは運動すること。
Amine Yuki was saying the exact same thing that Suzuha just said. They really were mother and child, perhaps. Suzuha was just beginning to feel a little homesick when she sensed another visitor approaching. Hey there! The door to the lab opened and a greeting she'd heard many times before resounded throughout the room. It was Mayuri coming to see Yuki. But there was another presence there too.
Mayuri-chan, konnichiwa. Okabe-sanも一緒だったんですね。
オカリン、久しぶりじゃん。
Hey, buddy.
ああ、久しぶり。
Damn, dude. When she heard his voice, Suzuha ground her teeth a little. Yeah. Oh, now we're back in his perspective. Oh, hey, Amadeus.
なんだって？
聞こえなかった？興味深いと言ったの。
Oh, what's interesting?
まさか行きたいとか言い出すんじゃないだろうな。
ぜひお願い。
話すべきじゃなかったな。
I was standing in the middle of Ikebukuro with a smartphone in one hand, staring up at the sky. I've been trying to talk to the Amadeus Kurisu as much as possible lately. Sometimes I would contact her, and sometimes Kurisu would contact me. It didn't feel any different than having a friend who lived in the real world. Talking on a smartphone in a crowded place like this was a little embarrassing, but I told myself that compared to the things I used to do, it was nothing. I'd chosen harmless topics for our discussion, but it still reminded me so much of talking to the old Kurisu that I sometimes forgot myself. I'd done that just now when I accidentally told her about the lab. She'd seized on it.
あんたが今話したそのラボ、オリジナルの私は行ったことが？
ああ、いや。
はっきりしないわね。どっち？
ないよ。
Kurisu had been part of the lab in the Alpha World line. In this world line, she died before ever becoming a lab mem. Of course, she'd never even known where it was.
お前は勘違いしているようだから言っておく。ラボと言ってもラボじゃない。ただのお遊びサークルだ。それに
Suzuha was living there right now, and Daru spent a lot of time there. If they found out about Kurisu, things could get complicated.
言いかけてやめないでほしいわけだが。
なんでもない。
いずれにせよ、外の世界をいろいろ見て回ってみたい。今までは先輩や教授と話す時も研究室の中ばかりだったから。
だからこうして日曜の朝っぱらから池袋を案内してやっているだろう。
10 a.m. Even at this hour, the area in front of Ikebukuro Station was crowded. It was going to get even more crowded as it got closer to noon.
なんなら乙女ロードまで連れて行く覚悟はしていたんだけどな。
何よそれ。
お前の知らない世界が広がっている場所だな。
待って、今調べた。
Oh,
本当に興味が湧いたか？
そんなわけあるか。とにかく今日はあんたのラボに連れて行ってよ。私に話して聞かせた以上、責任を取りなさい。よろしくね。
and then she hung up. It was like I was her own personal taxi service. Kurisu couldn't move around on her own, so there was no getting around that, but...
まったくわがままなやつめ。
She didn't seem to think very highly of me. At this rate, she might start treating me worse than a servant. The real Kurisu was one thing, or no, maybe it wasn't. But being treated that way by the artificial Kurisu was incredibly humiliating. Wouldn't it be a humiliation for all of humanity?
これはなんとかすべきかもしれん。
Nope. Nope. I tried. As I mumbled to myself. Hello! Mayuri called out to me. She was carrying a lot of bags. It was probably materials for one of her costumes.
今誰かと話してなかった？
今のは大学のゼミの友達だ。
そっか。今日も遊びに行くの？
いや、今日は別に予定はない。まゆりはこれからバイトか？
ラボでユキさんと待ち合わせ。
ラボ。
Was this good timing or bad timing?
そうだ。オカリンも久しぶりに一緒に行かない？ユキさんの手料理も食べられるよ。
I bet it tastes delicious.
それとね、マユシーも頑張って作る予定なのです。どうかな？
In the end, I went with her. At least she's happy.
ずいぶん嬉しそうだな。
嬉しいよ。
Mayuri had been smiling the whole time. But I was the opposite. The minute I got here, I was so nervous. I felt like I was about to throw up. I didn't really want to see Suzuha.
あ？おお、岡部じゃねえか。
Tennoji?
お、
Oh! Hey, dude! The door to the Brawn Tube workshop on the first floor opened, and out came the building's owner, Tennoji Yugo. Brawn Tube Workshop. A CRT TV shop located on the first floor of the multi-purpose Ubiyama building in Suihirocho. At the very back of the store is a very rare 42 CRT TV. Tennoji Yugo, the owner of the store, also owns the building. It only gets a few customers a day, but strangely enough, it's been one of the few stores that survived over the years in the constantly changing landscape of Akihabara.
店長
おう。
T シャツ1枚で寒くないですか？
鍛えてるからな。
Yeah, with your Jack Hummer shirt, you certainly are. When I'd been living in the lab, I'd given him the nickname Mr. Braun. It had been a long time since I'd seen him.
岡部、その様子じゃちゃんと大学生やってるみたいじゃねえか。
どうも。そういえば家賃ってどうしてるんだっけ？
I asked Mayuri instead of him. I used to give it directly to Tennoji, but
橋田がちゃんと振り込んでくれてるから安心しな。
oh,
そうですか。
okay.
おう。
Huh. This man. Was he a rounder in this world line too? Oh. There was no way I could ask him. Oh. Who's texting?
How'd things go with Kurisu after that?
No problems.
I see. Anything you can tell me, no matter how small, would be a help.
That she's interested in Maiden's Road, maybe?
Well, what's that?
A place where a whole world you know nothing about exists.
Wait, I'll look it up.
Bad idea. That darkness is very deep. If there's anything that seems off, I'll let you know.
Would you? I know it's a lot of trouble.
They all have like the same emojis together. I couldn't help but be wary of him. That's why I'd started to put some distance between us. Nothing else. I'd avoided trying to interact with him.
じゃあね、あんま暴るんなよ。
Tennoji saw that I'd gone silent and went back inside. Mayuri looked over at me with a worried expression.
大丈夫？やっぱり帰る？
行こう。
Tennoji didn't matter. Mattered was, why was I here? Did I feel like something needed to change? Or did I really want to show Kurisu the lab? I went up the stairs, still unsure of the answer. Mayuri went in first.
ごめんね、ゆきさん。ちょっと遅れちゃった。なゆりちゃん、こんにちは。
This music. I might just work on my story listening to this. I peeked inside the room. Daru and Yuki were there. Their eyes went wide when they saw me.
岡部さんも一緒だったんですね。
Hey.
おう、オカリン、久しぶりじゃん。
ああ、久しぶり。
I quickly scanned the room. There was no sign of Suzuha. Part of me was a little relieved.
入っても。
自分のラボで遠慮とかねえよ。
それもそうか。さすがにこの状況でクリスを呼び出すことはできなさそうだな。
What happens if I try, though? I tried. I followed Mayuri to the lab and tried to relax my legs by sitting on the couch. But I didn't feel relaxed at all. I felt like my skin was crawling. I glanced over at Yuki.
ゆきさん、そのお洋服かわいい。なゆりちゃんにそう言ってほしくて着てきたんだよ。いいなあ。まゆしんも着てみたいのです。後でお洋服取り替えっこしてみる？サイズ合うかな？
I'd heard about Yuki's future from Suzuha too. Still couldn't believe someone this pretty was going to marry Oh! Okay, sorry!
なんだ。
Oh, hi, Magi. Hi, Amadeus. Sorry.
着いた頃かと思って。
Hi. I think I done goofed. You know what? There. I ran into the development room in the back, clutching my smartphone.
お前結構暇なんだな。
どうして声を潜める？もしかして私のことをお友達には知られたくないとか？
当たり前だろ。
I hadn't even checked with Maho and Dr. Alexis to see if it was okay to tell the people about Amadeus.
まあいいわ。状況はなんとなく理解した。
Kurisu lowered her voice as well.
少しでいいから部屋の中を見せて。カメラを掲げてくれるだけでいい。
まったく。
I sighed and held the smartphone up to my chest. I spun around once like I was taking a video with my camera.
汚すぎ。
Kinda, yeah.
最初の感想がそれか。
I'm actually more thirsty for that 9 up there on the table.
ごめん、言い直す。ガラクタだらけね。
It wasn't much better. Well, it was true.
研究室というのはどこも雑然となるものだけど、それにしてもこれはひどい。真帆先輩の下宿先といい勝負ね。
Wait, really?
そういう個人のプライバシーを暴露してもいいのか？
Yeah, kind of I wasn't prepared for that. At least now I can kind of expect to see what her room looks like.
あんたからも先輩に言っておいて、部屋はちゃんと片付けた方がいいって。
そんなこと言ったら噛みつかれそうだ。
Yeah. I mean, I could make, she'd have to jump to kind of get up there, but eh.
まあ、でも
Kurisu paused and smiled.
こういうルームシェアみたいなの少し憧れてた。人が集まってるところを見ると居心地はいいんでしょうね。
クリス。
Yeah. Kurisu and the Alpha World line. You said the same thing.
お前は本当は？
おじさん、誰と話してるの？
I suddenly heard a girl's voice from under the desk, and was so surprised I screamed.
誰だ？
黙って。
え？お前スザ
She hiding? But why? Daru, Mayuri, and Yuki heard me scream and ran over to see what the problem was.
おかり、どうしたの？あれ、そこにいるの、鈴葉さん？
Uh-oh!
あっちゃー。
I done goofed. Suzuha looked upset. It was only then that I realized who she was hiding from.
次のニュースです。明和党の駒沢康和衆議院議員が企業から不正献金を受けていた問題で、駒沢議員は今日10時から記者会見し、議員辞職する意向を表明しました。
Eiwa Party? One of the two major political parties in Japan. 5 years ago, it was an opposition party, but in last year's elections, it rose in power significantly. Their slogan is, "A bright nation in peace." Someone had left the TV on, and it was playing the afternoon news. Oh, illegal donations accepted from corporation. News fresh! Meiwa Party's Kamazawa Yasukazu resigns from parliament. Suzuha knew no one was watching it, but she used the remote to turn the volume up anyway. She wanted to keep the girls in the shower room from hearing us. I could hear Mayuri and Yuki laughing from the shower. Things had gotten really awkward when Yuki had found Suzuha, but Mayuri quickly came up with a plan. At first, her plan was for the three of them, including Suzuha, to shower naked together and hopefully get Yuki and Suzuha more comfortable around each other. But Suzuha said that the shower room was too small for 3 people and refused.
参ったな。
Suzuha was staring up at the ceiling.
鈴葉のせいじゃないよ。オカリンが悪いんだ。
誰が事前に教えてくれなかったからだろ。
教えるタイミングなんてなかったじゃん。つうかオカリンさ、スマホ片手にブツブツ喋ってたけど、何してたん？
Introduce you to Amadeus, maybe?
それはその
誰かと話してたよね。
そういうアプリがあって試しに使ってみたんだ。
おお、ギャルゲっぽいやつ。オカリンもそういうのやるようになったのか。
No!
そういうことなら、後で僕のおすすめアプリ教えるよ。
No, thank you, please, no. I guess I'd managed to fool them about Amadeus.
何にせよ、私がうかつだったよ。おじさん、さっきは驚かせてごめん。
そもそも彼女から隠れる必要があるのか？すでにダルの妹で通っているんだから、コソコソする方が逆に怪しまれるだろう。
Suzuha tried to avoid Yuki to begin with. Just meeting her father was enough to potentially cause a time paradox, she said, and that chance went up even more if she met her mother. Yuki had found her before long, and Suzuha had been forced to say she was Daru's little sister. Yuki believed it, so why make things any more complicated?
そうなんだけど、母さんが思った以上に私と仲良くなりたがるんだ。あまり会話しすぎるとボロが出かねない。
自分とよく似てる人間が現れたら嫌悪するか興味を示すかのどちらかだろうな。
And Amane Yuki was the latter.
嫌われた方がずっと楽だよ。
いっそ事実を打ち明けるわけにもいかないか。
Yeah, let's not. Right now, only a few people knew that Suzuha was a time traveler. Me, Daru, Mayuri, and Ferris. That was all.
つうか、このまま何も説明しなくていいんじゃね？天音氏はなんつうか、秘密とか無理に聞きたがるような人じゃないと思うんだよね。鈴葉ならよくわかってるんじゃないか？
確かに未来の母さんはそんな人じゃなかったけど。
じゃあ大丈夫だって。いずれ時が来たら僕からちゃんと説明しとくよ。
本当？
ああ。
わかった。父さんに任せる。
Suzuha nodded.
で、今後は天音氏を露骨に避けるのやめるっつうことで。
うまくやれるかどうか自信ない。
Shouldn't be too hard.
お前が言うなって話だけどな。さっきだって相変わらず苦手意識出しまくってたじゃないか、お前。
僕のことは今はどうでもいいっしょ。
Awkward. And then the conversation came to a halt, which meant we started thinking about the voices coming from the shower room.
つうわけで。
Daru opened his mouth. Perhaps he couldn't take it anymore.
ニコ生見てもいいかな。ブラチューの生特番があるんだ。
What? Excuse me? Wait, no, what's this one? A live streaming service offered by the major streaming site Nico Nia Video. Is that a reference to Nico, Duga? Is that what it's called? That was Bloodtoon. An anime called Bloodtoon, the animation. Originally a manga, it was animated last year. The show drew a lot of attention from anime fans, and the main heroine, Sari Orgel, became popular enough to have many figures. Bloodtoon the animation. Bloodtoon. Considering there's a bunch of anime that start with the word blood, I'm not entirely sure which one that is referencing. Eh, well.
不許可って言っても主張するんでしょ？じゃあどうぞ。
To the side, and Dar sat in front of the PC and put his headphones on.
何？おじさん。
いや、仲のいい親子だと思ってさ。
そうかな。
ああ、未来でもダルはこんな感じだったんだろ。
もっと痩せててかっこよかったけどね。
想像もつかないな。
うん。
And the conversation died again. There were a ton of things I needed to talk to Suzuha about. But that was why I couldn't say a word. Maybe it was the same for her. Since there was nothing else to do, Suzuha and I turned back to the TV. The news was still on.
今日、東京銀座でフランスのファッションブランドル・パラディのオープニングイベントが行われました。
As the newscaster spoke, I could see over 100 women lined up in front of a store.
平和だね。私が物心ついた頃には、すでにこんな光景は存在しなかった。
On the TV, a girl in a pretty outfit was talking to an interviewer.
羨ましいな。彼女たちは誰も殺さなくていいし、誰にも殺されないんだね。私が育った時代はさ、相手が男だろうと女だろうと容赦なく殺さなきゃいけなかったんだ。次の瞬間には自分の命が終わるかもしれない。そんな恐怖が寝ても覚めてもつきまとってた。恐怖を忘れるためには狂気に身を任せて自分が殺す側に回るしかなかったよ。
That was war. That was Suzuha's life. Been to many nightmarish world lines, but none of them were that bad.
父さんたちはタイムマシンのことで反政府組織とみなされてね。
Daru had made the time machine that brought Suzuha here. It was far more powerful than the one that existed in the Alpha world line.
私も軍から離脱して父さんたちに加わったから警察や治安部隊に追われることになった。それからはもっともっとひどい戦闘が何度もあったよ。正義のための戦いなんて綺麗な言葉は使いたくない。たくさん殺したし、友達や仲間も大勢殺された。その中には私の母さんもいた。
Daru was still staring at the computer screen, but I could see him twitch. He must have been listening to Suzuha while he pretended to look at the screen.
軍の無人機から私を守ろうとして機銃掃射で死んだよ。
This was the first time I'd heard how Amane Yuki died. She was in the next room right now, having fun in the shower. And that was how she was going to die?
この目でズタズタにされていく母さんを見た。この全身で母さんの生温かい血を浴びた。
Maybe the reason Suzuha didn't want to talk to her mother in 2010 was that she didn't want her asking about the future. There was no way Suzuha could tell her that.
ねえ、おかりおじさん。
At some point, Suzuha's eyes had started to overflow with tears.
この世界線の行き着く先は地獄しかないんだ。 今すぐじゃなくていい。時間切れにはまだ少しだけ時間があると思う。だからもう一度だけ考えてお願い。お願いだよ。
俺は
I knew it. In my mind, I knew it. The right thing to do was to do as she asked. But
死にたくないよ。
the sensation I felt when the knife slipped into her flesh, and I took the life of the girl I loved. It went from my hand to my arm, and to the rest of my body. It started shaking. My vision blurred, then almost went black. My hands went to my mouth. There was a wave of pain, like my stomach was turning inside out.
おじさん、
大丈夫か、オカリン。
ああ、悪い。
Suzuha poured me a cup of water and I gulped it down.
ごめん。こんなことまだ話すんじゃなかった。
いや、大したことない。大丈夫だ。
I sank into the sofa and tried to calm down.
鈴葉の言いたいことも気持ちもよくわかるんだ。けど俺は何度も世界線を漂流してきた。こことは違う世界線でタイムマシンに運命を翻弄される人たちを見てきた。
I looked straight into Suzuha's eyes.
お前の非業の結末さえ見てきた。俺自身もそれに巻き込まれて何もかも無力だってことを知った。
Humanity was powerless before the laws of this world.
タイムマシンを使って世界線を改変するのはこの宇宙の仕組みから逸脱することだ。俺たち人間が手を出していい領域じゃない。いわば神の領分なんだ。それに触れれば俺たちはもっともっと残酷な罰を受けることになる。俺はそう思う。
それがオカリンおじさんの答えなの？
少なくとも今はな。
そう。
ただの逃げだとなじってくれてもいい。
そんなことしないよ。
Suzuha looked up at the ceiling and sighed. That must have been a habit she'd picked up lately.
続いてのニュースです。
ん？
厚生労働省はアメリカで猛威を振るっている新型の脳炎ウイルスについて今のところ日本国内での発症例は報告されていないと発表しました。
Encephalitis?
ただこの新型脳炎は潜伏期間が長いことからすでに国内に上陸している可能性も否定できないとして感染症法に基づき全国の医療機関に対して新型脳炎対策と感染症発生動向の速やかな調査を指示しました。ここからはお茶の水医科大学の春山壮子教授にお話を伺います。春山さん、この新型の脳炎というのは具体的にはどのような症状が出るものなのでしょうか？
新型脳炎は 感染力は弱いのですが、潜伏期間が長く突然発症します。症状としては幻覚や記憶障害が主ですね。
Hallucinations and memory problem.
例えば、そうですね。会社で仕事をしていたはずなのに気がつくと家にいたりですとか、会ったこともない人に会った記憶があるというような症例が報告されています。
So a lot of it fucks with the brain. So it's a neurological virus?
あとは実際には発生していない事件が起こった覚えがあるなどといった記憶の混乱も現れているようです。夢と現実の区別ができなくなったり、時間感覚を失ったり、周りの人と記憶が一致しなくなるので錯乱状態に陥ったり。
That seems like it might end up being a plot point.
いわゆる寝ぼけているような状態、デジャブのようなものと言えますが、もっと症状がはっきりしています。
治療法についてはいかがでしょう。
他の脳炎と違いまして、適切な治療を受ければ比較的速やかに完治することが分かっています。
That's good.
ですので、もし国内で感染者が出たとしても、それほど恐れることはないと思いますよ。
The reporter was still talking, but I couldn't hear what she was saying. The information I just heard was that shocking. A new kind of encephalitis? I knew the symptoms she was describing. Losing the ability to discriminate between dreams and reality. Losing your sense of the passage of time. Your memories no longer match those of the people around you. That was exactly the same as reading Steiner. Oh. 1975. 13. The interior of the time machine smelled like metal and was covered in instruments of different sizes. The girl inside was sobbing. It had been almost an hour since Suzuha had left to go look around. She'd assumed that Kaguri would have stopped crying by then, but she'd had no such luck.
いつまで泣いてるつもりだ。しっかりしなきゃダメだ。まゆ姉さんの気持ちを考えろ。
Shina Kaguri looked up at Suzuha, her face wet with tears.
だから泣くんじゃない。鬱陶しい。
Suzuha walked over to Kaguri and knelt down so they'd be at eye level. She had no intention of spoiling her. Her goal was to save billions of lives, and this was her first mission.
いいか、これからはカガリもワルキューレの一員とみなす。私の部下として扱う。非戦闘員じゃないからな。
Wait, Valkyrie? Demigoddesses from Norse mythology. There are many Valkyries, and at least several dozen are given names. They choose who will die on the battlefield and who will be victorious, and they take the souls of those who fought bravely to Valhalla to prepare for the coming Ragnarok. Skuld, one of the three Norns and the goddess of the future, is a Valkyrie.
ここは1975年だ。知ってる人間は誰もいない。父さんもマユ姉さんも出生してない。つまり、誰も守ってくれないんだ。自分の身を守るのは自分だけだと思え。いいな。
Kaguri was a brave girl, and she finally realized that now wasn't the time for tears. She tried to stop crying. It wasn't working well, but it was a lot better for her emotions than sobbing. She was a smart girl. Suzuha knew that.
あまり時間がない。この時代の人間にタイムマシンが見つかったら大騒ぎだ。
The machine had landed on the roof of Radi Khan, which wasn't a spot that people visited often. Chances of anyone finding it were slim, but in this era they had no one to help them conceal it. That meant they couldn't stay long. She needed to finish her mission quickly and move to the next time period.
何か失敗したらまたタイムマシンで時間を戻ればいいんじゃないの？燃料の問題があるんだ。ジャンプできる回数は無限じゃない。肝心の場面で動作しなかったら話にならない。そうなんだ。立てるか？
Suzuha stepped out of this machine and beckoned to Kaguri. Aww. Kaguri looked surprised. Her eyes were narrowed at the bright sunlight. The sky above Tokyo in this time period was too dirty to be called blue. Smoke and dust clouds filled with who knew what were rising from the rows of smokestacks. It all combined with black exhaust from the cars that scurried along the ground to create a smog so thick you could literally see it. The sky above the city was covered by a veil of death. But still, it was the first clear sky that Kaguri had ever seen. She'd only ever known from books and videos that the sky could be this bright. The nuclear weapons used during the Third World War had changed the weather over Tokyo, and their sky was constantly covered in dull gray clouds. The sun's light was always weak when it shone through them, and it was never this bright.
私が子供の頃はまだこんな感じの空だった。少しだけど覚えてるよ。
Suzuha looked up at the sky too.
空気が美味しい。
In 2036, you needed a filter and a mask to go outside for any length of time. Compared to that, 1975 was a lot cleaner.
わかるだろ、かがり。父さんたちがどうして世界線の改変に全てをかけていたのか。世界線がどうとか、歴史がどうとか、そんな理屈は後でいい。今はただ、この空の色を守りたいと思えば。
Kaguri slipped her hand into her pocket and took out the faded green Upa keychain. She stared at it with a sad look on her face. She was probably thinking about Mayuri, her mother. And she was probably trying to understand what it meant that her mother had put her inside the time machine. Suzuha decided that Kaguri was alright now and closed the hatch on the time machine from the outside. The lock flipped on automatically. The only person who could open it now was Suzuha, whose biometrics had been loaded into the system ahead of time. Even if someone did find the machine, it would be a while before they found out what it was.
Kagari, これを見ろ。
Suzuha handed her a printout of a photo. Hey!
これ何？ IBN5100 っていうレトロ PC だ。
The IBN 5100.
私たちの時代に存在していたものはどれも満足に動かない。けど、この時代なら感動品が入手できる。これを手分けして探すのが私とお前の最初のミッションだ。うん。連絡はこれで。
She handed Kaguri a small transceiver.
通信できる距離はかなり短いらしいから気休め程度だと思え。大きい時。
Aww.
90分ごとにこのビルの前に集合。状況を確認。それを繰り返す。いいな。大きい時。いい返事だ。
Suzuha nodded and patted Kaguri on the head.
よし、ミッション開始。
Suzuha was on the top of the Radicon in 2010 looking down.
35年か。
That's how long ago it had been in real time since she'd spoken to Kagari here. From her perspective, it had only been a few months. The view from up here has changed a lot since then, and in the next 26 years, it would change even more. She'd seen for herself how this building changed over a span of 61 years. The thought didn't make her feel sentimental. Instead, she felt the loneliness and fear that comes from having a past not shared with anyone else. Using the time machine to change the world lines means breaking the rules of the universe. Okabe Rentaro's words flashed through her mind. Still, lately she'd been thinking more about Kagari. She'd been searching the city at regular intervals. She was looking for Shina Kagari. She didn't even know if she was in Tokyo. She had no clues. She didn't even know what Kagari looked like now. So maybe it was a waste of time. Even so, she had to find Kagari herself. But she hadn't had any better luck today. She turned around and looked toward the time machine. She would come here every day. Her primary reason for coming was to see if her father, Hashira Itaru, had been here. Anytime she let her guard down, he would come to try and examine it. She told him it would cause a time paradox, but he didn't listen. She needed to keep constant watch. To be honest, she had a lot of things she had to do. And then she heard the metal door to the roof open. Was it her dad? She squinted into the darkness, but the person she saw was much smaller than Itaru, and had cat ears coming out of their head. Hey, Ferris!
すずにゃん、こんばんはだにゃん。なんだ、ルミ姉さんか。
Ferris Nyan Nyan had a spring in her step as she approached Suzuha.
ルミ姉さんって誰のことかにゃ？フェイリスはフェイリスにゃ。ルミ姉さんはルミ姉さんだよ。
Ferris's real name was Akiha Rumio. She was Daru's friend and had helped them in many different ways in 2036. So Suzuha had known her ever since she was very young, and had always called her Big Sis Rumi. For whatever reason in this era, she always wanted to be called Ferris, though. When Suzuha asked why, she simply responded, "Ferris is Ferris, nya," an answer which meant nothing to Suzuha.
ラボに誰もいなかったから、こっちかなと思ったら正解だったにゃ。はい、差し入れ。余り物で悪いんやけど。
Ferris showed her a cake box with a logo from the maid cafe where she worked, May Queen plus Nyan squared.
父さんがラボに不在でよかったよ。
If he ate something like that at this hour, he'd get even fatter.
ダルニャンじゃなくて、スズニャンへの差し入れにゃ。私に？なんで？にゃふふ、好きなくせに。
Ferris grinned and nudged Suzuha in the side with her elbow.
私は別に。アップルタルトにモンブラン。あと、イチゴのショートケーキもあるにゃ。
Yay?
ほーら、おいしそうだにゃ。
Ferris opened up the box and showed her what was inside. Suzuha could smell the sweet cream and fruit.
さあ、今すぐおいしく食べるといいにゃ。心置きなく食べるといいにゃ。
You can't win with Ferris.
その可愛いお口に食べさせてあげるにゃん。で、冷蔵庫にしまって明日食べる。すずにゃんはストイックにゃ。
Ferris laughed and handed over the box.
賞味期限は明日だから明日中に食べなきゃダメにゃぞ。ありがとう。どういたしまして。
Ferris gave her a mischievous wink and looked up at the time machine beside them.
ダルニャンのタイムマシン研究の方はどうかにゃ。頑張っ ってはいるみたい。ルミ姉さん、このマシンまだここに置いておいても？
Suzuha looked around the roof as she asked. It was solely thanks to Ferris that no one had really noticed the massive object on the roof. She was the heir to a rich family that had a lot of influence in this area and had contributed a lot to the development of Akihabara. She was helping to hide the time machine. Thank you, Ferris.
このフロアというか屋上はフェイリスが借り上げちゃったから平気にゃ。オーナーさんには体感ゲームの研究をしてるって言ってあるにゃ。ちょっと苦しいわけにゃけど。助かるよ。気にしないでいいにゃ。この世界のエレメンタルを売薬兵たちの魔の手から救うためなら、フェイリスはいつでも協力するにゃ。
The four spirits who control the elements of earth, water, fire, and air. Their existence was first proposed by the Swiss alchemist Paracelsus. In his book, The Book of Fairies, he described them as beings not dead, like ghosts but not alive, like humans and as being spiritual creatures of an extremely nebulous nature. Paracelsus struggled to explain exactly what they were, and in the end decided to classify them as things. He divided them as follows. The element of earth is controlled by the pygmies of the mountain, or the gnomes. The element of water is controlled by the nymphs of the water, or the undine. The element of fire is controlled by the salamanders of the fire, or the Vulcans. The element of the air is controlled by the sylphs of the wind, or the Sylvestres. Paracelsus' theory had a huge effect on alchemists and authors both of his own and later generations, who filled in the gaps in his work. In the fantasy genre in particular, elementals have become a mainstay. Well, naturally. Byakhi. Winged interstellar creatures that appear in the Cthulhu mythos. They were created by August Derleth, the co-creator of the Cthulhu mythos along with H.P. Lovecraft, and appear in such stories as The House on Kerwin Street. They are described as being chimera-like creatures around 3 meters tall, with the wings of a pterosaur, the legs of an eagle, and a tail like a bee's. Despite their terrifying appearance, they understand human speech, and if they feel it's in their best interest, they can even work together with humans. In space, they usually travel at around 1/10 of light speed, but an organ called the hun in their tail allows them to fly faster than the speed of light. Choked. The Byakhi are supposedly servants of Hastur, the god of shepherds, a creation of Ambrose Bierce, author of the famous Devil's Dictionary.
そう。
I'm learning things today.
昔から、いや、今からしたら未来か。思ってたんだけどさ、ルミ姉さんの話って時々すごく難しくなるんだよね。一体何語？考えるんじゃない。感じるのにゃ。
Yeah.
いいや。
I mean, yeah.
寒いにゃ。フェイリスはお家に帰ろうかにゃ。
In the end, she never could get an answer. To Suzuha, Ferris was always a great mystery.
送っていくよ。一緒に出よう。にゃ、それじゃあついでにうちでご飯も食べてくといいにゃ。そういうつもりで言ったわけじゃないんだけど。どうせ普段大したもの食べてないにゃ。スズニャンのストイックさを見てると、フェイリスがなんとかしてあげにゃきゃーって思っちゃうにゃ。保護欲？母性？とにかくそういうのがかきたてられるのにゃ。私は大丈夫だから。
Before she finished her sentence, she felt someone looking at her. She glanced around.
にゃ、どうしたのにゃ？
She listened carefully. She definitely heard a very faint sound from the direction of the metal door that led to the stairs. It was small enough that Suzuha was only able to notice it because of her training.
誰かいる。にゃにゃ。多分話を聞かれた。
Most of the discussion was worthless, but they talked about the time machine a little. If someone heard that. Suzuha yanked her gun out of her jacket and in an instant ran towards the stairs as fast as she could. She heard someone running down the stairs as soon as she did. The sound, heavy military boots in a wide straight, got farther and farther away. She opened up the door and jumped onto the landing. Then she raced down the stairs, skipping 3 steps with every stride. But still, it wasn't fast enough. Suzuha was born fast, and she'd been trained to be faster, but it wasn't enough. When she finally made it to the 2nd floor, she could hear the loud revving of a motorcycle. Well, shit! She panicked and slipped on an object that had been left halfway up the stairs, then rolled her way to the bottom. She managed to get into the right position and protect her head, so it was her hip that struck the ground. Uh-oh. She forced herself to stand up and run outside. She could see the taillights of a large motorcycle speeding away. The driver was wearing a black helmet and riding suit, and already had a good distance away, so she couldn't even tell if they were a man or a woman. They revved their engine loudly, as if to mock her, and then spun a corner and disappeared onto Cinder Street. Shit! A little later, Ferris caught up. She put the gun in her hands back in her jacket holster and brushed away hair that sweat had stuck to her brow. Good lord. That actually stressed me out a little bit. Suzuha glared in the direction the bike disappeared and started to think. Who was it? CERN? It was an unofficial CERN group, the Rounders, that were searching for IBM 5100s in Akihabara. Okabe Rintaro had told her that, but he'd only encountered them in another world line. Was it that they knew about it, or weren't going to do anything more? Or did they intend to steal the time machine from her? Since she didn't know, she had to assume the worst, or she wouldn't be prepared to deal with it. She looked up to the sky and sighed. It was becoming a bad habit.
Steins ゲートの入り口へオカリンおじさんを連れて行かなきゃいけないんだから。それが未来の父さんとの、私をここに送り出してくれた人たちみんなとの約束だからさ。すずにゃ。わかったにゃ。その代わりダルニャにだけはちゃんと話しておくこと。オーキードーキー。
The last part was almost a whisper as her words melted into Akihabara's sky. Damn. Holy shit, that was... Black biker outfit. Well, that automatically makes me suspect that it might have been Moeka again. Unless there's another new character that we haven't been introduced to yet. I don't want to suspect Moeka just yet. Mostly because she's my favorite. Well, they did bring up the information about Kaguri, so... Maybe it's... Nah, it couldn't be. I wonder. They introduced Kaguri, and... He seems to look like Makise, but... It's been 35 years and she still hasn't seen her. I wonder. But... Oh, I actually went a little bit over my recording time, but that's okay. Damn. Wait, I can check my backlog anytime I want? Ah, of course. I keep forgetting that. I can do that, of course. Okay. I really need to start saving in different places anytime that something new pops up. But anyway, seems we got ourselves even more information, and now I'm sadder and more confused. We even got to get a look at what that future looked like, and... Ugh, damn. That's sad and dark. But yeah, makes me wonder. Okay, theory time. I don't want to automatically assume Moeka, but the story it intentionally brought up the information about Shina Kaguri. So this theory probably makes no sense, but what if that was an older Kaguri? No, probably not, Well, I won't know until I get further into the story, and that's what I'm going to do, so... Thank you guys so much for... Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Or next video, whichever comes first. Outside Kanguru.